Alright, so, hi guys, Lydia here. I heard my rest. And I'm gonna read a fanfiction for you guys today, so, yay. Alright, this one is called How Cry Was Born by Roger Butts. One day, Mark Fishbach runs into Yami at a local sperm bank. Yami blushed and looked away from Mark's intense brown eyes and greeted him. "Hi, Mark," he said in his cute English accent. "Hi, Yami," Mark greeted, smirking at him sexily. "Do you need help donating? I know a lot about donating. I do it every night, if you know what I mean." Yami's blush grew darker and darker, his thoughts falling to the gutter when Mark's words finally sunk in. Before Mark could continue his lovely stream of sexual flirts, the doctor walked in. Both Yami and Mark turned to him. It was Cinnamon Toast Kid. Yami's blush intensified upon realizing he was stuck in one room with two magnificently built men. Ken looked so handsome in his pure white coat and bear hat thing. His chestnut mustache and beard were as manly as ever, and shimmered in the white office light. "Are you two ready to make your... what the fuck am I doing? Ready to make your noble contribution to society?" Ken said huskily. Mark let out a shaky sigh and smiled, Ken's voice making his wonderful heart race with excitement and libido. I don't know that word. Yami gulped, feeling so weak in comparison to the men's muscular bodies which rippled under their tight shirts like waves, his mind once again drifting off to the forbidden. "What are you thinking about?" Mark asked, suddenly closer to him. His husky, manly breath was felt on Yami's chest hairs and made them tingle. Without thinking, Yami whispered, "Dicks." What the fuck? Okay. Ken and Mark glanced at each other. Suddenly the same forbidden thoughts raced through their minds, and they smirked. "Oh, Yami," Mark said deeply. His raspy voice was like a lovely caress to Yami's eardrums. I apologize for really bad voice acting. Ken smirked almost exactly like Mark, and he approached the two sweaty, hot men and handed them each other a glass cup. "You'll need these to get the job done, boys. Now tell me, do you need any help?" Mark and Yami glanced at each other, a new emotion raging in their fiery young eyes. They both knew the answer, so Mark let Yami answer. Yes, Ken-senpai, we need your help." And without another word, Ken was on his knees in a flash and was unbuttoning his pants quickly. What? His fingers were nimble and experienced, and his pants were down on the floor in a pathetic puddle. Yami's boxers, adorned with a little face and mustache, were visibly becoming tighter around his schlong. Yami blushed and shied away by taking a step back, but Ken grabbed his hips to keep him in place. Now, Yami, we've got quite the case here. We'll need to take care of it," Ken said in a sing-song voice as his sausage fingers laced around the hem of Yami's underwear. Sausage fingers. A loud terror echoed in the room, and Yami let out a quiet squeal. Ken had just ripped his underwear off. Yami's long flesh stick bounced up in Ken's face. He was shocked by his rather impressive member. Even Mark was stuck gawking off to the side. Ken regained his composure and smirked up at Yami. "Oh, someone's excited to see the doctor, isn't he?" Mark cleared his throat, catching Ken and Yami's attention, and they looked at him, seeing that both his pants and underwear were gone. His thunderstick stood prominently. "Doctor, I think I'm ready for my physical," he said sexily. "Well, Mark, it appears Yami has an appointment before yours. I'll have my nurse come in and take care of you," Ken said with a sly wink, then stood up, and then he stood up, left Yami in the cold, turning to the phone and picking it up with his delicate fingers. Ken whispered huskily into the phone, "Nurse Pewds, we desire your presence in room 69 immediately." Quickly turned to Yami and dropped the phone, his beard flowing gracefully with his face, and his eyes stared hungrily through half-lidded eyes. He approached Yami once again and embraced him in a chaste kiss. Ken pulled away and whispered into Yami's ears, "Firmly grasp it, the meat in my pants." Yami complied, shakily grabbing the strong, muscular disco stick in his sweaty hands. You're tra-la-la, Yami said innocently. Bam! And just then, the nurse arrived, his short skirt fluttering slightly, long leg hairs poking out of his fish nettings, and his stubble looking as manly as ever. You called for my booty? He giggled, shifting weight on his heels. It was the magnificent and glorious PewDiePie, also known as Felix. There was an obvious bulge in his skirt when he said, I'm ready to take care of my patients. That's horrible. Felix approached the more than ready Markiplier, pressing his chest up against his and breathing heavily. Mark smiled and wrapped his arms around his girlish waist, his right hand migrating south and underneath his skirt. There was no underwear. Oh, Felix, I think you're more than ready for your own physical, Mark said huskily, while looking Felix in the eyes. Felix giggled all girly like, hee hee hee, shaking his butt. Ooh, naughty Marky, you shouldn't grab my jewels in such a way. I don't know how to do Felix's voice, I'm sorry. Mark smiled and squeezed his voluptuous butt. Shut up, nurse, and take my generous donation. And with that, he grinded passionately up against Felix's mighty man's spear, both of them moaning in sync from the pure ecstasy that their dueling swords created as they continued to grind sensually. Oh, Mark, I can't take it anymore. Ride me like the wild animal that you are, Felix cried. Mark groaned and pulled away, saying in a gruff voice, bend over. Felix quickly obeyed his orders, bending over and revealing his sweet ass. Do me hard, Mark, Felix begged. Mark gave him what he wanted with his colossal fucking cannon. Meanwhile, Yami was getting his brains fucked out, and his moans grew louder as Ken gave him head. Soon enough, they were all exploding their liquid love all over each other. Pale nectar exploded from their wiggly pickles. The building was filled with the groans and moans of these saucy men. They did not tire of their frick-frack for hours. The amount of sperm donated that evening was unbelievable. 9 months later, push! Push! I am, you ass butt! We'll push harder! Mark pushed with all his might, feeling the new family member emerge from his bunghole. A few moments later, Felix, Ken, and Yami all witnessed the beautiful, slimy birth of a little white butt baby. The doctor took the child in his hands and handed him to Felix. You're a father now, Mr. and Mrs. Fishlix. Felix squealed in delight and brought the baby to the tired Mark, saying, What will we name him? Our sweet white son. Mark smiled, looking up into the little black eyes of the blank-faced baby and whispered, Cry. The baby babbled and wiggled and spoke its first word in a manly, sexy voice that gave him all boners. Sup? What the fuck did I just read? I'm gonna go rethink my life. Okay.